We're just talking about some of the things that you should rent instead of buying, the experts say.
Yeah, like designer dresses, since you only wear it, maybe one time.
Instead of paying thousands of dollars, you just go rent it for
like
a few
renting
$100.
tux.
Exactly.
Yeah, like renting a tux.
Exactly.
A lot of tools, a lot of the power tools. Like, you don't use your handsaw every day.
But you got to have one of those. Now, I mean, I'm thinking an auger I can understand. We'll rent an auger, right? Because that's something you'll use twice in your life.
Grinder. You can rent
maybe
a stump
twice
grinder.
in your life.
You wouldn't use that every day.
But I mean, you got to
like
have
a skill saw.
You got to have.
How often? Why do you have to have it?
I use my skill saw.
How many times have you used it?
You never know when you're going to need it.
2 weeks ago.
Yep. You never know when you're going to need it. Your wife will say, "Honey, go get skill saw and cut this for me." And if you don't have it, what kind of man is that?
My wife has never said that to me.
How long have you been married?
Skill saw.
How long have you been married?
She's smart.
Neither of my wives have ever said that.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason for it. There's some people you don't want around power tools.
That's right.
Ricky's one of them. What else do they say you should not buy?
Those really expensive handbags. I guess that would go with a designer dress. You probably rent.
I didn't know you could rent a handbag.
I didn't either.
Can you rent fashion accessories?
Sure.
Apparently you can.
Rent jewelry. You can rent all kinds of stuff.
No kidding.
Sure.
Textbooks and camping gear are on the list.
I think textbooks are out. I think they're on their way out. Everybody will be getting an iPad soon.
Yeah.
That way you can have all 10,000. You could have your entire 12 years of elementary and high school and middle school all on one tablet. Mm-hmm. You buy it when they go in, and you just load new books every year.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And that's the end of it. That's just the way to do it.
I think camping gear is something good to rent. Because we go camping
like tents.
Yeah, tents and even the stuff that goes along with it. Everything that you would need. Because otherwise it stays in the shed. Unless you're like Willie down the hall.
Unless you go
all the time.
Yeah, Willie's been living in a tent since he got divorced, I think.
But the other thing is caskets. I didn't know that you could rent caskets.
You can't, because I was over at McAllister Smith with Mark, and
you just hang out over there too.
Well, no, we were talking about stuff, and he shoved me back there. They actually have caskets you can rent, and they use them for the viewing and that sort of thing for folks
that's brilliant.
Who really can't afford to go, high end.
Because those big, beautiful mahogany caskets, I mean, they're between $3,000 and $7,000.
There, you can pay as much as you want to pay.
Yeah.
And it's exotic, and really.
So you're saying that they rent them just for the viewing, then they give them back and bury the person?
Yeah, just like a rental car. and then they bury them in something that's much
like
less,
a pine box.
Yeah, pine box or something. Or they're cremated,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't need the box, that kind of stuff. That way, you don't pay thousands and thousands of dollars for something that you're not going to need.
I'm not saying that I will outlive my wife, and I probably won't. But if I did, I think she would be happy with my decision.
Don't say
no,
that.
Because she's very frugal.
Yeah, I can see her doing this.
I would say that
I can see her doing
she
this.
would want me to rent a high-end casket for the viewing, and then just either cremate her or put her in one of them boxes, one of the cheap ones.
You're better off in a pine box on a slow train bound for Georgia.
So, I mean, to me, now looking at it, that you can rent a casket.
Sure.
Burying $7,000.
And unless there's foul play involved, nobody's ever going to see it again.
I mean, my Jeep didn't cost $7,000.
And you can use it time and time again.
Yeah, it'd be less expensive for me to put her in the Jeep and bury the Jeep than it would this casket.
Yeah. And they've got all kinds of deals like that. It's not, people are changing their minds about stuff like that. Of course, Gary's not.
You would buy a high-end casket? I mean, if you decided to.
I've always done that. I mean, that's just what I've done for my dad.
But now that you know this option, is that something that you would consider? Knowing that since you're only going to...
I mean, Darlene's gone anyway. It's not like she's going to get mad at you.
I would have to look into it.
And it's only going to be 3 days that this casket's in your life.
I would have to look into it. I'm not sure I'd want to do
So
that.
you're not saying no yet?
No, I'm not saying no yet.
Well, Darlene can't get mad at you.
No, that'd be
gone.
great.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, and again, the chances of Gary outliving Darlene are very slim.
Slim and none.
Well, I think after 7, when she goes running that day and doesn't come back, after 7 years, they declare her dead.
So she's just got to bury something.
Yeah, it
What do
doesn't
you
matter.
think she's doing? Like Forrest Gump? She's going to run to
She's gonna
California?
run
She come back
down
with a
the-
long beard and a bunch of people following her.
I'm just saying.
Where you been, honey?
Weasel